Catherine.
Here.
Jim Brown.
Here.
Thomas Conroy. William Weber.
Here.
Paula Hess.
Here.
John.
Here.
Julie.
Here.
Don.
Yes, here.
Jerry. Tom Rice.
Here.
Kevin.
Yep.
TJ.
Here.
Steve.
Here.
Frank.
Here.
Raymond. Don Davidson.
All right, thank you very much. First item is citizens input. Remarks shall be related to the charter. Be limited to 5 minutes and shall be addressed to the commission as a body, not to an individual member. There will not be any discussion. We have somebody from the citizens in attendance today who would like to speak before this body. You please rise and state your name, sir.
Bill Bigelow. I have a lot more to say than 5 minutes, so I've asked your secretary to take my full remarks and put them in the public record. And I'll go as far as I can. We're asking for 3 changes, okay? The first one is the MSBU's. We would like to put in the charter that all MSBU new units, which are called ERUs, will be voted on either by a vote of the people affected by them or a survey with written ballots. And if the majority do not want the ERU, then the county cannot form it. The second thing is we would like on the 2016 ballot a issue where the people of this county will have an up or down vote on all 60 existing MSBUs. Do you want them continued or do you want them scrapped? And if they're scrapped, then we would become an ad valorem taxed county, like most of the counties by far in this state are. Right now, because of the MSBU's and the ad valorem, this county can exceed the 10% limit on ad valorem taxes. I counted all my MSBU monies that I put out, and it come to about 13%. So I'd say everybody that's in this county is paying more than the 10% ad valorem limit in this state. Okay, then we would like to exempt the churches from paying any MSBU taxes. Very, very few counties in Florida tax their churches. And we think that's double taxation. And we think it's a despicable way of taking our tax money, donating it to our churches for their purpose, and then having the churches pay taxes. And we gave to each and every one of you a chart or a spreadsheet on 26 churches. 4 of them are in Punta Gorda. They don't have MSBU, so they don't pay any taxes. The other 22 in 2013, the year we had the numbers, paid 140 or 26,000 or 44,000, I believe, in taxes. That's disgusting. And then the other thing we want is on codes and ordinances. There's currently, you have to, if you want a petition for either an amendment or a new codes and ordinance, you have to come up with 10% of the registered voters that'll sign petitions to put that on a ballot. And we think that we are being hamstrung as citizens. And we would like 5%. And the reason why we are doing all of this is because The only two ways that the citizens in this county have any say at all are in the elections and the charter. We think, if you read the charter, this is called the People's Charter. It is not called the government charter. This is what we, the people, want for this charter and how the government should operate and be structured. And so that's why we think that we have made the case in this document, which I haven't got time to read because I don't have more than 5 minutes, but I put it in the record and I will email it to every one of the voting members and alternates later tonight so you can read it. And the other thing we want is we want the administrator of this county to be an elected office. This administrator, the people of this county cannot talk to this man. Chapter and verse, a good example is the waterway problem. The people that, this waterways were so inundated with smell and garbage and everything else for years, starting in 2009, and when Mr. Sandrock became the administrator, I know and I've seen the stack of emails and copies of them that was sent to him asking for his help. He never answered one of them. And the administration did nothing until 2012, when the complaint started in 2009. And so nobody can act, and we feel as citizens that at least 75% of what is voted for by the BOCC is generated by the administration. And we have no access, we have no influence whatsoever with the administration. We will have access and we will be able to question these people if they're elected by us and not appointed. And so that's what the other thing we want done. And so I'm going to close. This is the people's document. This is not the government's document. The people want some more access to have influence in how this county is operated. And I have shown chapter and verse in this document how the finances of this county are going south real fast, and how the makeup of this county's tax base, which is 55% of the families making less than $50,000 a year, and that we're already overtaxed by other people's evaluation, watchdog evaluation called Florida Tax Watch. We are going to be hit based on the projects that we are looking at, which I'm adding up in this document that the unfunded projects that we are looking at total about $1.1 billion unfunded. And so we are looking at major tax increases on the people of this county, and this county is already overtaxed, and we need help. We need influence, and we need you to vote for these things that we're asking for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bigelow, for your reference. You took 7 minutes. I told you I would give you the time if you stayed on point and we didn't, repeat yourself, and you did not. And so we do have the document. We'd appreciate it if you would send them to everyone.
I'll email each of you the full thing, but I've asked your secretary to put all my comments in the public record. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone of the citizens that want to speak?
Hello, my name is Joanne Mulvaney. I'm a District 5 taxpayer. I just wanted to touch base on the part in the charter, and I want to thank Commissioner Dougherty last week at my government class. He did it all on the charter, which he clearly let us know that this is the people's document. And we talked about the administrator position, that there's 3 different options. 2 are by the appointment, which is what's happening now with our county administrator. The other 2 are by an elected office. And I would like this committee to please consider changing that option so that this county administrator that has about a $1 billion budget, he also is the only one that can direct staff. The commissioners cannot interfere at all. So this position has a lot of power, and I would like it to be a elected position, so that so if we have issues with this person, we're not dealing with the Board of County Commissioners that may think that they don't have a problem with him, but it's the people that should have the voice in a position of this much power. So please consider changing that so that the people's voice can be heard with the county administrator's position. I also agree to change the petition from 10% to 5%. If you try to get, what was it, Commissioner Dougherty, we talked about it was about 12,000 signatures.
Supervisor of elections, Paul Stamoulis' numbers, I think, indicate we have about 121,000 registered voters currently. The last general election, which would be the basis for the 10%, would still be somewhere in the vicinity of 12,000.
So really, and he said about 10% of those will get kicked back out just because of the signature problem. So we're probably talking more about 14,000 signatures. If you would please consider reducing it to 5%, that would give the people that rule the government and all the entities within the government a little bit more power to have our voices heard. Getting back to the county administrator, I talked to Ken Dougherty after he spoke at the government class last week, because my issue, one of my issues with the county administrator position not being where I can go and vote him out of office is that he chooses not to meet with certain taxpayers. That is a fact. Now, I talked to Commissioner Dougherty about that, and he said because the county administrator answers to the Board of County Commissioners. But if I'm a taxpayer in this county and I'm paying his salary, if I'm paying the county administrator's salary, his benefits, his retirement package, he should make it on his schedule when his time permits to speak to me. But he has refused many times. So my only way as a voter to deal with this is to have his position as a elected position, that I have a voice, because right now I do not, and I have a public servant that refuses to meet with me and certain other people. So if you would consider that, please consider the 5%. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Mulvaney. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Susan Hutt. I live in District 4. I'm here because I believe that local government is as close as the people can get to their government. And the Constitution allows for, is for the people, the government is for the people, and the people should have more control of the government. I agree with Mr. Bigelow's, all of his 3 suggestions. The Constitution provides for consent of the governed. County government is the closest form of government to the people, as I said. There's an air of distrust among many of the tax-paying citizens in Charlotte County because they feel that their voices and their opinions are not considered by the board. And some of these suggestions would help give the people more input. I agree with the MSBUs and the MSTUs. I wouldn't have a problem with MSBUs and MSTUs if the people had any say in it at all. It seems to me that if you're going to pass it, it should be passed with a majority of the vote. And then his second suggestion about the churches, that is double taxation. Provide the county tax-paying citizens with more influence in the establishment and amendment of county codes and ordinances. I agree with Mr. Bigelow about changing, and with Mrs. Mulvaney about changing to a 5% signature in order to get something on a ballot. I don't know, and I would like for the administrator position to be elected because we don't have access or control of government with the other one. But I would like to make another request that you all consider having commissioners run for specific districts instead of running at large. I feel like that would bring our commissioners closer to the people in their district. They would represent the people in the district more directly rather than the entire county. And I think that it would make more representation and more communication between the people and the government. So let's please keep in mind that the government is ourselves and not an alien power over us. The ultimate rulers of our democracy are not a president, senators, congressmen, or government officials, but the voters of the country and the county, whatever jurisdiction. Government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. That's by Ronald Reagan. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. Abraham Lincoln. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else?
Dave Kesselring for the record. I have some proposals I'd like to share, but first, a little background. Charter review boards have been in place since approximately 1986, I believe, from my research. It's made up of only 15 members out of the entire population of the county, plus some alternates. As far as I can tell, the first review committee was appointed in 1991. From the research I've done, at least 3 people have been on that board for almost 24 years, minus 1 term due to election as commissioner. There may be even more who've been on this board that length of time, or at least for many, many years. 7 members, almost half of this year's charter review board, were on the same board 6 years ago. This is not acceptable for a representative form of government. There appears to be a very small group of people that steer this very important document called the county charter. My proposals are twofold. One, the charter review board needs to be an elected body. It's clear that the appointment process is biased and flawed. An elected board would not only allow for a healthy change of the guard, but would publicize the event, increase participation, and allow those that are not political insiders a chance to steer this county in a positive direction. You have the same people year after year on these committees appointed by the commissioners. Then statements are made by some commissioners that there's no participation. Well, of course there's no participation. According to one applicant, the deadline wasn't even posted for the application this time, and another got no votes from any of the commissioners. I'm proposing that Section 4.2C, subsection 1, a charter review commission consisting of 15 members and 3 alternates shall be appointed by the Board of County Commissioners be amended to a charter review commission consisting of 15 members and 3 alternates shall be elected countywide by the voters of Charlotte County at the general election prior to the year of review. 2, there must be term limits on charter review members. It's more than obvious that a very small group controls the charter review in Charlotte County. Many of the faces seldom change. This should not be a lifetime appointment. I'm proposing that Section 4.2C, subsection 1, be amended to limit the appointment to the Charter Review Board to no more than 2 terms. In addition, I'd like to include my support for some of the proposals I believe you've already received. I support changing the appointment by commissioners of the county administrator to electing the county administrator by the people. I support requiring a majority vote of the residents of the containing area on the establishment of MSBUs or MSTUs. And number 3, Section 2.2G1 states the people of Charlotte County shall have the right to initiate county ordinances in order to establish new ordinances and to amend or repeal existing ordinances upon petition by a number of electors equal to 10% of the number of electors qualified to vote in the county as a whole in the last preceding general election. The charter section refers to this as a right. I believe, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, that there is a cost per petition, which is a major barrier to this right. I believe when you get the petitions, you have to pay per petition. And of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, where does the authority come from to force us to pay big bucks or any money at all to exercise our rights? I support the proposal to amend 10% to 5%, and I'd also like to propose the addition of at no cost to the people. Actually, I agree with everything everybody else has said behind me if I missed anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much.